From the PEP Radio Newsroom, these are the stories we are covering at this hour. A teen accused of fatally stabbing another student at a high school track meet in suburban Dallas, Texas, was indicted Tuesday on a murder charge, a prosecutor said. A grand jury indicted Karmelo Anthony in the death of 17-year-old Austin Metcalf. Collin County District Attorney Greg Willis said the April 2nd stabbing at the school stadium in Frisco struck a deep nerve here in Collin County and beyond. Anthony was 17 at the time of the stabbing and has since turned 18. When something like this happens at a school event, it shakes people to the core, Willis said. Students from several high schools in the Frisco Independent School District were competing when the stabbing occurred. According to an arrest report, a witness said that when Anthony sat under the tent belonging to Metcalf's team, Metcalf told Anthony to move, and Anthony replied, "Touch me and see what happens." Metcalf then touched Anthony, and Anthony said to punch him and see what happens. The arrest report said. A short time later, Metcalf grabbed Anthony, and Anthony stabbed him with a knife, the report said. Afterward, Anthony told an officer that he was protecting himself and that Metcalf had put his hands on me, according to the report. Anthony's attorney, Mike Howard, said Anthony was looking forward to his day in court. "We expect that when the full story is heard, the prosecution will not be able to rule out the reasonable doubt that Karmelo Anthony may have acted in self-defense," Howard said. If convicted, Anthony faces up to life in prison. He was released from jail and placed on house arrest after his bond was reduced. And now this news from the Trump regime. A top Justice Department official suggested the Trump administration, aka the regime, might have to ignore court orders as it prepared to deport Venezuelan migrants it accused of being gang members. A fired department lawyer alleged in a whistleblower complaint made public on Tuesday. The whistleblower's claims about Principal Assistant Deputy Attorney General Emile Bove come a day before Bove is set to face lawmakers Wednesday for his confirmation hearing to become a federal appeals court judge for the Third U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals. And by the way, that does include Pennsylvania. In a letter seeking congressional and Justice Department watchdog investigation, the former government lawyer, Erez Roiveni, alleges he was pushed out and publicly disparaged after resisting efforts to defy judges and make arguments in court that were false or had no legal basis. The most explosive allegation in the letter from Roiveni's lawyers centers around a Justice Department meeting in March concerning President Donald Trump's plans to invoke the Alien Enemies Act over what the president claimed was an invasion by the Venezuelan gang Tren de Aragua. Roiveni says Bove raised the possibility that a court might block the deportations before they could happen. Roiveni claims Bove used a profanity, saying the department would need to consider telling the courts "F you" and ignore any such order, according to the filing. Mr. Roiveni was stunned by Bove's statement because, to Mr. Roiveni's knowledge, no one in Department of Justice leadership in any administration had ever suggested the Department of Justice could blatantly ignore court orders, especially with an expletive, the filing says. In the weeks following the meeting, Roiveni says he raised concerns in several cases about efforts to violate court orders through lack of candor, deliberate delay, and disinformation. Now this news from Oregon. Democratic Oregon Governor Tina Kotek on Tuesday signed into law a bill that provides unemployment benefits to striking workers following neighboring Washington state in adopting measures spurred by recent walkouts by Boeing factory workers, hospital nurses, and teachers in the Pacific Northwest. Oregon's measure makes it the first state to provide pay for picketing public employees who aren't allowed to strike in most states, let alone receive benefits for it. It makes striking workers eligible to collect unemployment benefits after 2 weeks, with benefits capped at 10 weeks. Only 3 other states, New York, New Jersey, and most recently Washington state, give striking workers unemployment benefits. Washington's bill, which passed in April, pays striking private sector workers for up to 6 weeks, starting after at least 2 weeks on the line. That's the news at this hour. Download the Live 365 app to take PEP Radio with you wherever you go. Up next, we have the Meadville area weather forecast here on PEP Radio.